So in today's video, we're gonna be asking people what is the worst piece of fitness advice they've ever heard. And I'm gonna give you guys my take of whether or not you should even listen to that fitness advice, because not everybody really knows what they're talking about. So I'm just trying to see where people are at with their fitness journey and their understanding. But before we get into any interviews, I wanna thank today's collaborator, Career Gums, and their creatine gummies. If you don't know what creatine even is, it is a supplement for your muscles that helps with hydration, muscle recovery, and overall brain function. Now, there's many ways that you can get creatine into your system, such as eating chicken, steak, but oftentimes it's not enough, which is why the gummies offers a convenient way to get enough into your system. Now, besides the function that it gives you, it also tastes amazing. It literally tastes like candy. It's also non-GMO, gluten-free, and vegan certified. So the people with the sensitive stomachs, you're safe to eat it. Now, Career Gums is offering a way for you guys to get your first jar completely free. All you have to do is just cover the shipping. Click the link in the description or check the pinned comment and you can get yours today. What is the worst piece of fitness advice you've ever heard?
Probably add raw eggs into your food.
Is that necessary, or do you think anything to wear?
Well, I believe that the egg, in order for you to get the protein, it needs to be cooked. Otherwise, you're just adding calories and it's just gonna make your tummy ache.
He actually has a point, because the nutrition value of certain foods, most foods, does change whether or not it's cooked. There's like 4 different types of ways you can consume eggs: boiled, fried, scrambled, and then raw. Raw is the worst way because you don't even get the full amount of protein compared to all the other methods. So 100%, that is actually good, solid advice. All right, so the first person we're gonna interview is my guy, Eric here. He's been a client of mine for about how many months?
Oh, maybe about four
About 4 months, yeah, he's 4 months into the program. All right, so we got my boy, Eric, a client of mine. So we're gonna see just how much he's learned from me over the months that we've been working together. What is the worst piece of fitness advice that you used to believe prior to working out with me, and now that you're like, nah, that's not true?
Yeah, I would say probably the having to eat after 1 o'clock to actually lose weight. You know, having a time of day to lose weight. Actually, something I learned while working with Gideon is that you can eat anytime throughout the day. That doesn't matter. Your macros, that's what matters. But you can eat anytime of the day. It doesn't matter.
Facts. So the real reason they tell you not to eat until 1 p.m. is because you have a window. You still have to stay within certain macros and all that. And it's a lot easier when you have macros to spare because you have a budget. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, imagine you just get paid, right? And it is a lot easier to spend whatever your paycheck is when you have another paycheck coming within the next couple of days, opposed to like you have to make it stretch it out for the next 2 weeks. Do you see what I'm saying? So just think of macros as like a budget that you have to strategically plan out so that you don't overspend on that budget. What is the worst piece of fitness advice you've ever heard?
I would say that lifting like baby weight, or truthfully baby weight. When you're lifting baby weight for high reps, they say you're not getting gains, but honestly, if you're thinking about your reps, the reps that you're taking in each.
So I will say this, lifting some type of weight is better than lifting no weight. I will say that. But after a while, you will hit what's called a plateau. And if you want to break past that plateau, your body needs a reason to break past it, which is why you want to increase your weight, which is why progressive overload is a thing.
Time, you're getting 12 to 15 reps. That's still pushing because you're putting that, endurance into your muscle endurance.
Yeah.
So I think that's a complete myth. I mean, if you're still repping it out, think about it, you're still straining the muscle, still burning the muscle.
He has a point, but for example, the degree of which you would have to like do the amount of reps to strain your muscle compared to how you can get way more effectiveness just lifting proper weights, if that makes sense. What I'm saying is you're gonna build bigger biceps lifting 50-pound dumbbells than you would lifting 5-pound dumbbells if you have the capacity to struggle doing 50 but still get 50, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
Me personally, I like to go heavy and high reps.
Would you say it's better over time to lift heavy or lifting lighter weight? Which is more beneficial?
For me, I feel like lifting heavy because I'm already a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just gets me ready for anything. Whether it's work, whether it's,
Yes, sir.
your family or anything. I do construction. I do underground.
You need it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd rather be able to, lift as much as I can, rather than I'd rather be able to pick up a house than look like I can pick up a house. That makes sense. That's just me, my way of thinking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you.
Yes,
Appreciate you,
sir.
man. What's
Thank you,
your
brother. Gabriel.
Gideon.
Yeah.
So yeah, like towards the end there, he was pretty spot on. You want to lift heavy. And lifting heavy, guys, don't think about the number, think about the effect that it has on your body. So lifting heavy should be subjective to you, because your version of lifting heavy might be different from my version of lifting heavy. Lifting heavy is basically what you can handle under a certain rep range. You want to be lifting weights that you can still get for 6 to 8 reps, but you want that 8th rep to be like a real challenge. So whether that could be 60 pounds for you, or for somebody else, it might be 130 pounds. It really doesn't matter. Both of those weights are considered heavy to the right person. What is the worst piece of fitness advice that you still hear?
I think the worst piece of fitness advice that I still hear is that you can't eat after dark. I think that you should find something that works for you. Like for me personally, I don't get off till 7:30 at night. So that means that my dinner to eat with my family or my boyfriend is kind of late, and that's what works for me to be able to keep my relationships healthy as well as my body. I just make sure to snack throughout the day so that I don't approach that meal super ravenous, because your body is less efficient at breaking down sugar and carbs kind of at night. So we don't want to have too much, but it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, 100%. Facts. You watching this video, if you're somebody who thinks like after 8 o'clock or after a certain time, you can no longer eat and you're starving, don't think like that. Please don't think like that. Basically, what I'm saying is you have a 24-hour window to get your macros in, right? And it's kind of up to you to eat whenever you can. And eating really isn't that complicated, if I'm being completely honest. If you are somebody who does not have a good understanding, or you would like a better understanding on nutrition, how to eat proper, or like foods that you can get away with that might surprise you, then look in the comment description. I'm gonna leave a free food guide that'll give you not just understanding of macros, but various restaurants that you can eat from with the macros included, examples and things that you would be surprised, like, oh, I can't eat this, I can get away with this. And yeah, if that sounds like something of value to you, then be sure to check it out. We're here with, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm kidding.
Great value, Miles Morales. I'm sorry. It's Rashad. My name's Rashad. Hi. Hello.
Don't disrespect Miles Morales like that again.
Hey, that's what you called me.
No, I've never called you that. Do you see his? I have never referred to that man as Miles Morales. He always refers to himself as Miles Morales. I'm gonna say that right now, because Miles Morales, from what I can tell in all the depictions of Miles Morales, I don't think we ever had a live action version of him, but in all the cartoons, that man has a good hairline. He, my friend, has the same hairline as Vegeta. I want you to look up Vegeta's hairline. Google it. See this man right now. Look at his hairline. This man's hairline is literally is almost off the screen because it's so pushed back. Like, are you kidding me? His hairline can travel back in time. That's how far back it is. I'm so sorry. Let's get to what he actually has to say. Miles Morales' hairline is straight.
Anyway, on to the point.
What is the worst piece of fitness advice that you've ever heard or been given in your life? He's lost over 100 pounds. It'll appear somewhere on the screen. My editor will do it.
So a lot of the mything that comes to that, a lot of time, besides a lot of cardio, which is I get told a lot, what killed me was a lot of, people tell you fast. All right, have like little fasting windows. I feel like fasting's, if you do it right, if you know what you're doing, but fasting's not the end all be all. A lot of people take fasting a little too seriously. And with fasting, you're starving yourself. People don't know how to count and.
I wanted to pause it there because fasting is not the end all be all, but it's like a tool that helps you benefit. So fasting is where your body is in a state of where you're low on calories, you're not eating calories, and you're low on glycogen, so your body's having to use fat. It's fuel. But if you fast for too long, then you can go into what's called starvation, where there is no benefit whatsoever to starvation. Fasting is a plus, but starvation is not. You get what I'm saying?
Control their calories. That's why you have a lot of people, that just watched a documentary today, all that going on, that messes up your metabolic rate. You're losing so many calories.
At what point would you say fasting is? So for fasting to mess up your metabolic rate, I want you guys to understand, you have to get to the point where your body is so deprived of food and calories that it's having to feed on itself. So it'll start with your fat, your stored fat. It's going to use that to keep yourself going. And once it runs out of like stored fat that it can really munch on, then it'll start to eat away at your muscle. And then you'll start to lose muscle because your body's eating itself essentially, because your body's main goal is just to survive. And the problem with it losing or eating muscle is because now muscle is a direct correlation to how fast your metabolism is, right? The more lean muscle you have, the faster your metabolism, right? The more muscle mass, I should say. So when you're eating away at your muscle and you're losing that muscle, your metabolism by default is going to get slower, which makes it easier now for you to store on more fat, which is a weird cycle. But yeah, that is if you go into starvation. Fasting, if you just stick to a fasting window that is reasonable, then you don't have to worry about that. I would say like 10 to 16 hours is a decent window. I know there's people who do like the water day, the water fast and all that other stuff. That's a little bit different, but for most people, like a 10, honestly 12 is fine too. It depends where you're at. It depends where you're at, honestly. There's a right way to do fasting, and then the wrong way to do fasting is if you go into starvation. So we want to avoid starving ourselves and make sure that we're only fasting from certain things. It's no longer fasting and more starvation.
Well, I feel like when you get to a certain weight, I feel like now you're just destroying your body.
So you're saying it's more weight than window?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, I'm still learning it, but I mean, just...
Are there benefits to fasting in your opinion? I'm just getting your opinion.
For me, benefits of fasting is more of mental fortitude. You're just controlling what you can eat, but at the same time, you gotta also... Like, that's how people get eating disorders. A lot of people have eating disorders.
Can someone eat all day potentially and still lose weight the same as somebody fasting?
Just depends on how their metabolism is. If they had a higher rate of metabolism, absolutely they can do that. But if they, you're just doing it to do it, I don't think you can. There's a certain, genetics play a role into it too.
Yeah. Do you think fasting slows or can speed up someone's metabolism?
If you're doing it right, it can speed up your metabolism. But I feel like when you get to a certain plateau or a peak, then it's doing more harm than good. I feel as if that's what it's doing.
Because you keep saying if you're doing it right, what is, like, in your opinion, the wrong way to fast? Like, you'd be like, no, buddy, you're doing it wrong.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're starving yourself, like some people I know will starve themselves for like 12 to 15 hours a day. I don't think that's a good idea. I feel like if you do a certain window and you also eat the right foods.
In that window, yeah.
In that window, I mean, you're also doing your body justice. Because a lot of people will take, okay, let me do a 1 meal a day, 16-hour fast, eat whatever I want, and expect the same results. That's not gonna happen.
Macros. It all breaks down to macros, literally. Just gives you a window of what you can consume those macros, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you could be overeating within your fasted window and it's not gonna help you. And fasting isn't gonna help you, if that makes sense. So you wanna make sure you're keeping track of your macros at the end of the day, because if it fits your macros, then it fits your macros. What's the worst piece of fitness advice you've ever heard?
Just grind out doing cardio, thinking that's gonna help you lose weight. As we know, that in building muscle, it helps increase your metabolism and your body's ability to use your resources you take in through food. So just grinding it out doing cardio, you're just gonna burn yourself out and you're just gonna waste away with muscle you have created. And it's also a lot less fun in my opinion.
I agree with that. She's also a doctor, which is cool. Yes, you have to lift weights because the difference between lifting weights and cardio are crazy. So when you lift weights, it allows you to build muscle. And with that muscle, it naturally makes your metabolism faster, right? So think of it like this. Let's say you're a very sedentary person, but you've been going in the gym, lifting weights. Naturally, there's only a certain amount of calories you're gonna burn in a sedentary lifestyle. But since you've lifted weights and built muscle, now you naturally burn more calories doing these same exact activities. While with cardio, the benefit of cardio immediately stops the moment you stop doing cardio. So you always have to make time to do cardio, otherwise you will never burn more calories just from doing cardio. Does that make sense? Let's see this next one. What's the worst piece of fitness advice you've ever heard?
The worst piece? I'd have to say spending like 2 hours in the gym is gonna lead to mass muscle production. It's not the case. Like, maybe an hour is like most that you need to be in there.
At the time of this video, I'd hit a 30, maybe 45-minute shoulder workout. And even 45 minutes was too long for shoulders. But as long as you're targeting the muscle groups that you want to do and you're doing enough reps and with the proper weights, like, you can cut out a lot of the fluff. I mean, if you're in the gym for hours, you're probably taking way too much rest in between sets. You're talking, or just what I like to do is I zone out. So if I'm ever in the gym for a really long time, that is something that I have a habit of doing, is just zoning out and all that. Or I'm like watching videos in between sets of like whatever, YouTube, anime, I don't know. But yeah, I agree with whatever he had to say. So hopefully you found value in this video. You learned something new. And these are regular people with their own fitness journeys, just sharing things that they once believed. So maybe if something that they once believed is something that you currently believe, we can unlearn that. And if you found this stuff to be helpful and you're somebody who's wanting to get into the gym for the first time, I will have a free training guide that'll teach you exactly how to train and progressive overload. If you're somebody who's new that wants a better understanding of macros and how to eat better, I also have a free food guide that'll be in the description or the comment section for you to read as well. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to anyone that you believe would be a great beneficial to. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, and thanks for watching.